What is up, my people? Welcome to another market outlook. This is going to be for the week of November 4th. Let's hop right in and see how the S&P 500, the ES futures, is looking like. So let's take a look here. I'm going to start quickly on the weekly chart. Let's look at the weekly chart over here. Okay, so we closed pretty bearish. Let's remove these lines right here. We closed pretty bearish, touching that support of 57.58, rejecting those all-time highs. Please note that we do have elections in the next couple of days, so the volatility in the market is going to be absurd. I mean, the last 2 days we saw a drop of 1%. Friday picking up that, recovering that drop. Crazy intraday swings of 5 to 10 handles on the ES. Volatility is nuts. We had the VIX trading at like 22 on Friday. 22, yeah, 22 on Friday. Crazy volatility. Anyway, so looking at here, kind of dropped that out of this all-time highs. On a daily structure, we see some support. We see some buyers come in on Friday after that big push down. Let's draw a line here at support. Put one right here. Resistance. Call it. We'll trade this intraday high here at the daily. So this is a perfect chart to see how we're doing on price action. Market kind of got these went to all-time highs on the 14th of October, kind of consolidated, dropped down, testing those highs, those prior highs, and we tried to go back to all-time highs and failed very quickly, dropping into fair value. This is something you can't really see, but something I see because I've trained my eye to see. But fair value is where you seek a lot of consolidation. I'll show you guys here in the TPO chart shortly. So yeah, we dropped down, came to the support of 57.50 practically, found some buyers. We tried to run up price to these, you look left to these this resistance level of 5,800. This 5,800 was a big strike price. That's something to note. So a lot of options market hedging happened throughout those levels. So what can we see in this upcoming week? I want to take a look here at this Heikin Ashi chart because it just kind of shows you momentum. It really eliminates a lot of the noise. So on a daily structure, we see that the momentum is to the downside. We're at that support. Good to know. Weekly is probably okay. We've kind of shifted down. See, we shifted momentum, we shifted bias, something I like to see. That's why I love these charts a lot. Monthly upside. So coming here at the 4-hour chart, let me turn up this volume. We don't need volume right now. Looking at the 4-hour chart on a Heikin Ashi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Heikin Ashi. Anyways, yeah, we see here a 4-hour chart. See that little, we really try to bounce back at these support. I had these levels for intraday levels, and we kind of came down, we found some support, we pushed further up, and we failed to claim that 5,800 level. I'm not saying we can't, but as of how the market's looking at right now, we are probably trading in between this 5750 5800 level. So let's take a look at the TPO chart, time price opportunity, where we can see fair value on a very easy way. So alright, so let's take a look. So price is closed. This was Friday's action. We see kind of an even distribution across 5,800 and 57.50, and take note how you see a lot of these distribution bells right here. This is fair value. Price loves to go to fair value, because remember, if you're thinking about the market as an auction, then you will always like to see participants where they believe it is fair value. These push ups, these single prints, they call them here, are just imbalances in the market. So we kind of got out of this fair value. We found some value, though it was, fairly relatively just intraday value, but we pushed that imbalance. We found some value here at those all-time highs, pushed down, moved here. So 58.80 is a good point to take note. But we dropped fairly quickly in one day back to this value area and trading here. Thursday, we had to spend a lot of time between 57.75 and 57.40. We tried to push higher on. We tried to get out of this fair value. Failed, came back to value. So, how do I see the market? Let's go back to our trading view chart. I believe that with elections coming up, let me put a real quick a profile here. Profile, session, periodic, visible range profile. Let me put this profile because it'll give us a better idea of where we can head towards. Okay, so taking a look at this profile, more details. Okay, so taking a look at this profile, volume profile, remember, price loves volume, loves balance. Where there is more volume, there is more balance. When there's less volume, there's imbalance. People are not interested in that price action. So we came back to this fair value at 775. So what do I anticipate happening? Honestly, I am unbiased with elections coming up and just the volatility in the market that we are seeing. Look at that VIX at 22 right now. Pretty high. Reaching, volatility is just nuts. So I think I'm going to be playing it day by day, honestly. I have no bias. I can see us retesting that 5,800 level. We could potentially range between 57. I mean, that's what I mostly believe, 57, 50, and 5,800. So things I could, we're probably going to range between here, or we could potentially, come out of here, come retest this 5,800 level, and then move to the upside back to this fair value. We can also fail to reclaim, come back to value, and if we do push down value, we are going to test these lows. There's a lot of liquidity down here, stop losses and whatnot, and people stuck long. We're probably going to test that area. Also, we could just probably consolidate and then break to the downside. If we break to the downside, I'll probably see us going down to here, this value area low. Again, we can also break, fake out, come back up. If this were to happen, this is actually a really, really positive indication, because it's going to shake a lot of people who are long here, who are long here, who are long here, here. They're going to get stopped out. They're going to, all these people here, if we create this hypo, come back, go back to this area, we're shaking out these longs. We're scaring all the people who are long here, so that means there are less long people in the market, which are less sellers, and if there are less sellers, it's easier for price to go up. Now, in the time being, with the presidential election coming up, if I believe if Trump does win, and there's a high probability the market is anticipating that to happen, we are going to see a run up here back to the 5800s of fair value. So overall, I think I'm looking at this chart in a balance mode right here between these levels, 5750 roughly, 5800. Heiken Aishi chart is telling me that we found some buyers, so I want to see a follow through here on the 4-hour chart for the Heiken Aishi. But overall, this is my area of interest. Let's look at some VWAP. Let me place this VWAP back here where we're at. Can't really see that. There we go. So, two standard deviations, and let's put these two standard deviations. So okay, so on a VWAP, anchored VWAP level, let me move this to over here, where we broke out of these highs right here. Okay, so once we broke, all right, so we're trading VWAP actually. That's actually pretty low. So we can probably go back to this first standard deviation of 87.70. I could definitely see that, and yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Let's take this out of the picture and this out of the picture. I mean, I just deleted all the my bad. So yeah, overall, market is looking pretty rangy. I would watch out for volatility. Elections coming up, just intraday volatility. We don't really know what could happen. Same thing as the NASDAQ and the Dow. Something cool to note, NVIDIA has been added to the Dow Jones. So that's going to actually push. You know, NVIDIA is a very volatile stock. So any push to the upside there will probably push the stock upside. You know, we're kind of at all-time high here, but any push up can create some more momentum here in the Dow. This is actually, if you correlate the market with the NASDAQ and the Dow, ES did create all-time highs. The NASDAQ did not. The Dow did. So you can see a lot of tech stocks stagnant in the market right now, which is a good sign, because if they start to pick up, it will push everything up higher because they're all in the same basket of financial markets. So that being said, if you're looking at the S&P 500, a good way to look at it is trading in between this range of 5750 and 5800. I know I made this pretty bigger than what I expected, but you know, trade the range. If we break up to the outside, as I said, trade the range. We break up, we can see here, we can retest, come back, we can retest, come back to value, or we can break to the downside, retest, we can come back to value. All of these are scenarios that can happen. Keep an open mind. Don't get stuck to a bias, especially when we see momentum come down and volatility go up. Just stick to a bias. If you are a long-term investor, if you're up, I don't know, 50-60% on a position, start to scale out a little bit. De-risk, and start to allocate those assets into stuff that is coming down, like Apple. Apple has been trading down a little bit. Google has been trading down a little bit. All these assets, you know, opportunities to buy, to reclaim those all-time highs, because as this gets pushed higher because of the tech focus in the NASDAQ, we can see a lot of gain here. Let's see what else I can show you guys. TPO chart. I mean, I'll keep it very simple. But yeah, just keep an open mind. Don't get stuck to a bias. And that is my weekly outlook for November 4th to November 10th. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching.